So we've had this huge oak tree that fell in our backyard 2 years ago. We've been cutting up the small branches and burning them throughout the year, and could not figure out how to get these big huge logs split. The other day I was in the hardware store and saw this absolutely gorgeous item, which is this wedge. And it's multi-sided, has little grips on it so it doesn't bounce out of the wood. I had tried several wedges. I tried hammering an axe in it. I couldn't get these things split for nothing. Most of them have branches coming out of the main base, which just ruins them for splitting. And got a 20-pound sledge and started going to work on this thing. And as you see, it didn't take anything at all to be able to split it. You just set the splitter, a little wedge, you set it not dead center, you set it a little bit off dead center. It's a little easier. If you set it dead center, it's a lot harder to get the thing split. But you set it off to the side and tap it in with the 20-pound sledge. And then after you get it tapped in and holding its own, you can stand back and give a really hard whacks to drive it in. And 10 whacks usually will do it. This is not full whacks. Now you're going to see full whacks hitting it. And if you don't want to miss the wedge, keep your eye on it, because if you, like there, don't keep your eye on it, you miss it. So there it goes. So it just whacks it right in half. And this one has a branch protruding out of the other side that was cut off. And so it's got some really strange grain. But this will, taking a piece at a time, will split it anyway without much work at all. During the winter time, we like to burn wood. Our power bill the first year we were in this little house was nearly $300 a month, because it uses a heat pump, and the heat pump is just not a really great one, and it won't work under 40 degrees outside. It just runs and runs and produces no heat, so you use all kinds of little heaters in the house. So I said to my wife, well, we got a nice little cast iron wood stove, let's just go ahead and burn wood. $100 a month will buy you about a half a cord delivered, and I would rather pay for the wood, which we were having fires anyway, and then our heating bill went down to $75 a month. So what do you know? So last year we didn't pay for any wood. We just burned the branches off this huge oak tree that had dropped. I paid a guy a couple of $100 to come over and cut it all up for me. It was already on the ground. And it just missed my shed and everything in the backyard. It missed the motorhome. It was just really a blessing that it didn't hit anything. And so that's what we do. We burn wood. We've been burning this year so far. And I'm glad I found the wedge. See, look at that grain in that branch. Did you see that? That's nasty stuff. And with an axe, you'd never get through that. And I turn it. Now you can see the branch for sure protruding about midway down. It's in there. And we're going to give it one more good whack to get it down to size, and then take it to this little tiny splitter that I have up on the hill. And I have to get these big huge logs up on the hill to the splitter, because the splitter, if it's down here, the cord is too long. It says right on the directions of this little electric splitter I bought that if it's more than 15 feet, that every foot further than that, you reduce the motor's ability to crank the hydraulics in this electric splitter. So I have to be able to wheelbarrow it up to the side of my house to use the splitter. And then of course the splitter won't do one of these massive things anyway. It has to be split up somewhat to go on the splitter. I mean, it will handle some big stuff, as you're going to see. But you really need to break these apart. So this is what I do in my spare time. Split oak logs in my backyard. But a few whacks and this thing goes, and then we're about ready to go up on the hill and have the little splitter. And I'll show you that. I think that you'll like that the best. So if you have wood to split, go buy you a 20-pound or 10-pound sledge and get yourself a nice shot at the chin. What a cutie. Anyway, get yourself a wedge from Walmart. It's about $11. And the sledgehammer cost me about $20. And you're good to go. And so far it's done about 10 huge logs. Now this is my little splitter. Ace Hardware was carrying them. I found them online and they wanted $350 for them 2 years ago. And it's electric. It has an electric motor on the bottom which pumps hydraulic fluid into the cylinders, which operates the slide. And as you're going to see, this thing cracks right through it without any problem at all. There's a foot pedal where my left hand is and a green button. But I have a spread on my hand about 8 inches, so I can push down on the foot pedal and hit the red button, the green button. But look at that. Just goes right through it like it's nothing. Now, we bought this 2 years ago. I was going to go get one because they rent big, huge ones. I was going to rent a big, huge one, but for the weekend they want $500. And I don't have $3 or $4 grand to buy one. And I didn't know how much would I be splitting. So I opted for this and was going to go try to find one or mail order it. And I thought, well, I'll look on Craigslist. You never know. I look on Craigslist, and here's a lady that has one that she's selling for $150. She bought it, used it a season, and then didn't want it anymore, needed the money or whatever. So I went and picked it up, gave her $150, and then we've split probably maybe three cords of wood so far on it. And it hasn't given me a bit of trouble. Haven't even had to put hydraulic fluid in it. It has a bleeder valve that is just down from the wedge. You can't really see it. There's a little tiny wing nut. You undo that a couple turns and that allows it to bleed off air as it operates. I have no idea what it does if you don't do that, but the instructions say to undo it a couple of turns so it bleeds off the air while you're using it, and then you tighten it back up. And then it has wheels on it and handles on the opposite side of the wheels, and it stands vertically. And I just leave it outside covered with a tarp under the eaves. It doesn't get wet or anything, and runs extremely well, as you can see. But $150 to split all the wood you want in your lifetime. This will probably be in my will when and if I ever die. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy this, and I'll go ahead and leave you to enjoy the cracking of the wood for the next big ones. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Some of them I want to get them down to kindling size so they're easy to start, because this is hard dried oak, as hard as you can get. And some of them I want larger so they burn longer. One of the big puppies. Let's see what we do with this. Let's cut it right in half. How can you beat that, huh? Now, I haven't ever tried to use it vertically. I don't know if you could, because you got this piston on the outside. But sure works vertical. No problem, huh? The only thing is you can't have a cord longer than, I think it said 15 feet, because it causes too much resistance and the motor won't run. Otherwise, I get down there splitting it. And of course, those big giant ones really won't fit on this. You have to take those in half to be able to make it work. Short period of time. This is probably about, this whole log that I did this morning is probably about 3 or 4 days of the firewood. That's all I use to heat my home with, is wood in the wintertime. Cost me $200–300 if I heat it with my heat pump, especially in the wintertime. Doesn't work worth the damn once you get above 40 degrees anyway. And rather than spend the money on electricity, I'd rather spend the money on firewood if I was going to buy it. But because
because of this tree, I haven't had to buy any wood in 2 years. I guess it's been 2 years. I guess it was the spring a year ago. This thing fell, and I was able to get it cut up with the chainsaw, but couldn't figure out how to get it split. And everybody wants $600-700 weekend. And came across it, $150. Good as new, huh? Can't beat that. You could try. You'd have to use a big old ugly stick to do that. Alright, so that's it. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching my video.